It has occurred to me that I have been here making videos about Smash for like 5 months now, and I have yet to make a video where I just talk about the characters that I want to see in Smash. I mean, that's how we Smash fans communicate, that's how we bond and get to know each other. It's like these past 5 months, you and I have been talking to each other, but it's like we don't really know each other, who we are as people. So let's get to know each other a bit. You know what to do. Hit those comments, let me know who you want to see the most in this game. And hey, since I uploaded my last video, I actually managed to cross 100 subscribers and then crossed 400 like a week later somehow. Seriously, thank you all. That means I got a lot of new faces to meet, so like I said, send me your wish lists and I'm gonna go ahead and start up my own list of the 10 characters I want most in Super Smash Bros. The list isn't in order of who I want most or anything. All 10 of these characters will garner the same manic, man-child-like reaction out of me. So they're just ordered in the way that I felt would best pace the video. So yeah, let's go. You know, now that I think about it, I might have lied a little bit. There actually was a video, one of the first bigger videos that I put a lot of effort to on this channel, that was kinda about characters I wanted, where I went over some potential Smash characters that I thought people weren't talking about enough. And in reality, that video was just an excuse to talk about some less likely characters that I would love to see in this game. Like the Prince from Katamari, who could bring his unapologetic joyfulness and incredible soundtrack to Smash, although I imagine he would end up being so gimmicky that I would never touch him and probably end up hating him. Or Monokuma, who I think would just be so out there and creative, but I've only played his first game, so I gotta play 2 and 3 to see if my interest with him is gonna stick. Although if I had to guess, it probably will. And in that video, I do talk about who is number 10 on this list, Travis Touchdown. How quickly things change in 5 months. When I made that previous video, I genuinely considered Travis an underdog pick for Ultimate, and now, just a couple videos ago, I was talking about how he might be the single most predicted character for Fighters Pass 2 that I see. But hey, that's not what this video is about. No matter how likely you think Travis is, I just want to see him. I think he would be such a fun presence in this game. I actually haven't played that much of the No More Heroes games, at least not as much as you might expect from someone that's saying Travis is one of his 10 most wanted characters. But not only do I love what I have played of those games and am incredibly excited to play No More Heroes 3 later this year, hopefully, I just feel like I would really click with Travis as a character if he made it into Smash. Besides the fact that I'm just desperate to use a lightsaber in this game, I would love to see how they translate his personality into a fighting game. Of course, I'd have to tone him down a bit from his M rating. I do think Travis represents a very significant part of Nintendo history, in showing that one of Nintendo's most successful eras with the Wii was not only defined by its casual offerings that made it so successful, but also had one of Nintendo's strongest lineups of core video gaming experiences. Travis just ticks all the boxes I look for in a Smash character, and I'm glad to see his popularity is on the rise. You know, I'd say I'm a pretty diverse video game enthusiast, all things considered. I try to play absolutely everything I can, hit every single relevant game out there, and never really find myself preferring or aligning with any sort of series, genre, company, or platform. But if I absolutely need to choose a favorite gaming genre, 3D platformers are a very strong contender for that spot for me. And my lifelong infatuation with this genre can be credited in large part to Spyro the Dragon. Spyro is definitely the childhood hero pick for me. Of course, if I'm going to talk about Spyro, I should probably quickly address the Bandicoot in the room. I did grow up with Crash as well. I grew up with Crash 2. I just not only loved Spyro more, both as a kid and now as an adult, but I also think he just has a lot more to offer in terms of a great Smash moveset. You got the standards like flying, charging, fire breath, but even if you're concerned that that would make him too similar to the other dragons we have on the roster, Spyro has been around long enough and has had enough great games that he has a wide pool of stuff to pull from if your goal is to make him unique. And he is a character that I also think could fit into a lot of different fighting game archetypes depending on how you spin him. I can just as easily see a zoner Spyro as well as a rushdown Spyro. I've got some other childhood heroes that I would love to see in Smash, but it's the potential of how Spyro could play that really puts him over the edge for me. I also think Spyro's got some really underrated video game music, and seeing that covered in Smash is almost as exciting for me as the character himself. I think I really underestimate just how much I love Minecraft. It's a game I revisit more than almost any other. I can play it with so many different people in my life, whether they love video games or not. And hey, with it being the most successful and one of the most important games we have ever gotten, seeing Steve in Smash is only making more and more sense as we go along. This is a character that you didn't see people talking about all too much until we started seeing how friendly Nintendo and Microsoft were. And like Spyro, what I really love about Steve, besides just being from a game I adore, is the infinite potential with how you can build this character. There is no way you can fit everything that Steve does in Minecraft into one Smash moveset. So seeing how they pick and choose and prioritize what elements they're gonna bring over would just be fascinating from a design perspective. He probably would end up being too gimmicky to the point where I wouldn't play as him that much. But what really excites me about Steve specifically is I want to see how they animate him. I hope they keep his animations super limited. I want him to have the same stiff walk that he has from Minecraft. I want him to remain standing up even when you launch him a million miles away. And I would love if his arms and legs still don't bend. Much like the appeal of Minecraft itself, the creative possibilities with this character is what makes me so excited. Let's just hope that Microsoft and Nintendo stay friends long enough to see this happen someday. Astral Chain Hero. I mean, I get it. It is a really awkward character to name. Not sure what I would have gone with myself, but dang, that sure is a simple one to go with. So apparently Byleth was selected because Nintendo wanted to include a character from a game that people were playing now. And I know that they had to plan ahead, Fire Emblem was more of a known quantity, Astral Chain had the potential to flop, but in retrospect I think Astral Chain Hero would have been a significantly more exciting choice. Astral Chain was just one of my favorite games of last year and is my favorite game on the Switch that features an all-new protagonist. So if you want to pick a modern icon, an icon for this current era of Nintendo, the protagonist of Astral Chain takes that category easy. But they're not on the list just for that reason. This is the character on this list that excites me the most with their moveset potential. Having a main weapon that can be a baton, a gun, or a giant sword is more than enough to make an interesting fighter out of. But seeing how the team would incorporate the legions is where they can really make something special with this character. I am so glad that Astral Chain was a hit, and getting that game in the Fighter's Pass with an incredibly interesting character, an aesthetic that I would love to see on a stage, and music I would love to hear even more. This is a pretty compelling package for me, awkward name or not. In case it isn't clear, how likely I think the character is has absolutely zero impact on this list. I do think the Astral Chain Spirit event means that we will more than likely not get any character from this game, and there are some characters coming up that I think are even more impossible than Astral Chain Hero. It was tough for me to pick the Capcom character to include in this video. Dante, Phoenix Wright, someone from Resident Evil all basically share this spot together, but I think the one I would be most excited for is Phoenix Wright. Before I ever played any of his games, Phoenix Wright was already one of my favorite fighting game characters from UNVC3. I certainly wouldn't want them to just port over Phoenix from that game into Smash, but it does show the incredible potential this character has, and I would love to see how much more creativity the Smash team would unlock. I am also a fan of introducing characters from game genres that aren't in Smash yet, meaning getting Phoenix Wright as a visual novel rep is incredibly appealing to me. And with what seems to be becoming a bit of a trend with this video, Phoenix Wright would bring with him another fantastic track list of music. I love video game music about as much as I love video games, so if a character is going to bring a great soundtrack with them, they will get tons of bonus points from me. I love the Ace Attorney games, Phoenix Wright is an icon of the medium, and I would love to have him in Smash. Remember about a minute ago when I said there were characters on this list even more unlikely than the Astral Chain Hero? It's gonna be hard for me to think of a character I want that is more unlikely than Scorpion from Mortal Kombat. This one's pretty simple. Fighting games are another one of my all-time favorite gaming genres, so getting all the fighting game protagonists under one roof is very exciting to me. And Scorpion is by far the biggest gaming icon we don't have in Smash yet. fiery chain hook whip teleporting swordy ninja man is certainly an interesting enough character concept to craft a moveset out of. And of the M-rated characters that people like to talk about, I think Scorpion is one of the easier ones to tone down to an E10 rating. But yeah, I just love fighting games and I want to see as many of my fighting games as I can put into my favorite game in the genre. If his games weren't banned in Japan, I might even consider him somewhat likely. If you want to talk about a fighting game icon that isn't in Smash yet that actually has some sort of chance to get in, you would probably have to go to the next most prominent fighting game icon after Scorpion, of course being Heihachi, who I would love to see as well. I think Ryu, Scorpion, Terry, and Heihachi would be a rock solid fighting game lineup for Smash Bros. Okay, this one I know I've talked about before. Not a specific character, I just want to see someone from Xenoblade Chronicles X or Xenoblade Chronicles 2. And frankly, I'm shocked that this hasn't happened. Xenoblade is in a perfect position to get the Fire Emblem treatment of getting a new protagonist with every Smash game, and yet there have been 3 Fire Emblem characters added since our first Xenoblade character. But I'm not here to talk about why a Xenoblade character hasn't happened, I'm here to talk about why I want one. Besides Xenoblade likely being my favorite RPG franchise from Nintendo, I think all the Xenoblade protagonists could make exceptionally unique and fun characters in Smash. Whether you want to talk about Cross, Elma, or Rex, all of them probably would use a sword, but Elma would be our first dual-wielding swordsman, and Rex has the potential to use all sorts of different weapons if they incorporate the mechanic of switching blades. And Cross being a make-your-own-avatar character, it's hard to say what weapons he would be using. A character from X would probably combine both sword and gunplay in their moveset, and Rex, on top of having any number of weapons at his disposal in Xenoblade 2, could also pull off some really interesting stuff with his grappling hook. I'm really trying not to compare the potential Xenoblade protagonist with the Fire Emblem protagonist we've already gotten, but in basically any category you would list, I think the Xenoblade protagonists would make better Smash characters than the Fire Emblem ones. And I'll leave it at that. And of course, I'm obligated to mention all the Xenoblade music that I would love to see come with the character. 2B. Where to start with this one? NieR Automata is just the best. That game means so much to me, and being a hack-and-slash RPG, 2B could slide right into Smash using a style of swordplay unlike any character in the game so far. 2B is a character that I've seen compared to Joker a number of times. A relatively new character from a smash hit game this generation that, while not being affiliated with Nintendo, has become so iconic for video games that it doesn't matter and they would be incredibly hype inclusions for Smash, and I think that's a pretty apt comparison. In fact, Persona 5 and NieR Automata are probably my 2 favorite games that I own for my PlayStation. It would be tough for me to pick which Platinum character I want, 2B or the Astral Chain hero, but certainly I think 2B would make a bigger impact. It's another character where getting their world represented as a stage and getting their music on the track list is frankly too amazing for me to comprehend just how awesome that would be. For a long time, I would have said that a new Xenoblade protagonist was my most wanted first-party character. But after I sat down, wrote this video, considered every character I'd want in this game, I think I thought of one that I want even more. For the most part, when people request Nintendo characters these days, they're either asking for a really prominent side character or a character that's really new. However, we are still missing a prominent main character from one of Nintendo's biggest franchises, who's been around for decades and is still just as relevant now as when she was introduced. I think the Nintendo character I want the most is Dixie Kong. Donkey Kong Country may very well be my favorite Nintendo franchise ever, and Donkey Kong Country 2, the game that Dixie was introduced in and co-starred in, is one of Nintendo's all-time greatest, most beloved classic platforming games. And not only did Dixie Kong go on to be the lead character of the next Donkey Kong Country, but her grand return was one of the most prominent components in Tropical Freeze, the most recent and one of the most celebrated games in the series. After what the Smash team managed to pull off with King K. K Rool, I have no doubt that Dixie Kong's moveset will be just as perfect, pulling moves and ideas from all of her appearances. She technically could work as a Diddy Kong echo, but personally I think that's too much of a stretch, and also a huge disservice to the character. Honestly, if Dixie Kong makes it into Smash, not only will I be completely content with the Donkey Kong roster, but I will be completely content with the representation of Nintendo Legacy characters. It is a long shot, but man, it would just make me really happy. Happy in a different way, happy in a way that no other character on this list can do for me. So if I can have one smaller, nicher, goofier honorable mention for a character that I know has no chance to get into Smash, but I would just love to see anyway, Makoto. Specifically, that Makoto. Although yeah, that Makoto would be neat too. You can be an honorable mention as well. Makoto from Street Fighter is one of, maybe even my favorite character in any fighting game. Her playstyle instantly clicked with me as soon as I picked up the game. I love her design, I love her personality. Just like every other character in Street Fighter 3, it is insane how great she is animated. And I have been hoping to see this character in some crossover fighting game. Usually when I talk about this with Makoto, I'm thinking of putting her in a Capcom Versus game. I think her moveset would translate beautifully to those games. But of course, Smash Brothers as well. Makoto would absolutely not play like the other fighting game characters we already have in Smash. Having Makoto's signature brand of slow-paced, methodic footsies and spacing, only to instantly transition into intense bursts of speed and punching and choking people, it would simply be a perfect character for me in this game. I would never need to search for a Smash main ever again. So yeah, if you were hoping to get a weirder pick out of me, there you go. Now on to the last one. Something that Smash Ultimate doesn't have the luxury of that every Smash game before it did was the thrill of announcing groundbreaking, previously thought to be impossible characters. Snake in Sonic in Brawl, Cloud in Smash 4, to a certain extent someone like Joker in Smash Ultimate. I believe there is one character left, one giant, juggernaut gaming icon that can blow us all out of the water one last time. And he happens to be from a game series that I adore, Master Chief from Halo. Like I said before, I am a fan of getting characters from game genres that aren't in Smash yet, and there is no better choice to represent the first-person shooter genre than the guy that redefined the entire artistic medium of video gaming using that genre. We already have several icons of PlayStation, so to get an icon of the Xbox brand, bringing the big three together in a single game, that is just something that 5 years ago I would have thought is absurd and impossible and even foolish to think it could be possible. I could talk about all the neat guns he could bring and how to craft a really cool moveset around him, but that's honestly not the point. This one's just about that moment in a Nintendo Direct or at E3 or wherever, where a Smash trailer starts, you hear the Halo theme kick in, and the whole Smash community gets to sit in disbelief one last time when we see that splash screen. Master Chief finishes the fight. How perfect would that be? And with that, we have officially bonded the way that Smash fans are supposed to. You now know the characters that I want to see most in this game, and as soon as this video is published, I am ready to dive into those comments and see who you guys want to see make it into Smash as well. I'm glad I did this one, this was fun. Or if you'd prefer a way to say hey more directly, I'm on Twitter, I'm on Discord, and DMs are always open if you want to have a chat. Thanks for stopping by the channel, hope you have a good day, I'll see you later.